My first question is this. The other two Republicans in this race are fairly well known. People know who Dave Yost is. People know who Vivek Ramaswamy is. Who's Heather Hill?
Well, I am a wife, a mother, a military mom, a foster parent, and an entrepreneur.
Your politics experience is school board, right? I mean, tell me a little bit about you, what you've done in your community and how that relates.
I was a school board, I was on the school board for Morgan Local. A year I was president of the school board. I was also appointed by Governor DeWine to the MLK Commission. Just helping out throughout the years with other political campaigns and different things like that. But as far as being a politician, I'm not a politician. I am somebody who understands what it's like for everyday Ohioans, and I will fight hard to make sure that we're heard and that everything that's done is in Ohio's best interest.
Why do you want to be governor?
I never really ever thought about being governor. When my first foster child was shot and killed by law enforcement in Franklin County, I started receiving messages from people asking me if I would consider running when DeWine's term ended. And at that time I was like, no, it's not really something that I'm interested in doing. Almost exactly a year later, my second foster child was shot and killed by law enforcement in Franklin County. And I had within just a few hours of it being public that she was shot and killed, I had over 100 people asking me if I would reconsider running for governor.
Okay, we got to stop there and tell me talk to me about this situation. I'm not aware of these, or at this point I'm not aware. I mean, it might be cases I've heard of, but what are the circumstances with those two cases?
I really can't talk a lot about those circumstances right now because the birth families are pursuing, they're taking legal actions. So I really have to watch what I say about that.
Okay. So that kind of a traumatic situation, I'm surprised to hear that you would run as a Republican. Why? Usually, I think you would expect that kind of a thing would happen to someone and they would become or run as a Democrat. Tell me why those are affecting you and why you're running as a Republican candidate for governor.
Well, I'm interested to find out why you would think I wouldn't run as a Republican, because our Republican values are exactly what led me to be a foster parent. We believe in taking care of children. We believe in bridging the gaps between law enforcement and people with mental illnesses. We have very strong Christian values in the Republican Party. So those are the things that keep me a Republican and keep me grounded, and some of the things that made me a very good foster parent. So I'm very proud to be a Republican.
What do you want to see based on that? I mean, those experiences, those lead you to believe there needs to be police reform, or what do you?
Well, what I have been doing is I have been meeting, let me just give you a little bit about my background. Not only am I a military mom, I have a large family of military servicemen and women, also law enforcement. So I believe 100% by sitting down and actually speaking to law enforcement all over the state of Ohio that they need more training. They want more training. And one of the things that I want to work on within the first year of being elected governor is building a state-of-the-art training facility for law enforcement all over the state. And we can also have other states that send their law enforcement here as well. But that's my biggest concern. That is one of the issues that I'm really wanting to work on.
Is that your top issue?
I wouldn't say that's my top issue, but I would say that's one of the.
What are your top issues?
Well, my top issues are basically making sure that parents have the final say when it comes to their children's education and health care. Also making sure that our Second Amendment rights are protected. I also own Ohio Hunting Lodge. Just some different things that that we are facing as a country and also facing as a state. One thing that I'm really finding that people are gravitating towards me is because I'm not a politician, I'm not a billionaire. I am a person who knows what it's like for Ohioans every day to struggle just to lead a better life. We have a trust issue in Ohio. We have a big trust issue. Our citizens don't trust our government. They don't trust our law enforcement. And I am going to work very hard to bring back trust, to bring back common sense, and to unite our state as one people under God.
Is workforce and workplace development the job of the governor and something you're looking to continue?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have wonderful resources in Ohio. We have an abundance of beautiful farmland. We have strong, educated people. We have an abundance of natural resources. So we have everything that we need in Ohio to give us a strong economy. And I want to bring that back. I want to focus on the things that are going to make it to where people want to come here and build businesses and solve the housing crisis, because a lot of folks that I'm speaking to that are trying to relocate to Ohio, that are interested in relocating businesses to Ohio, one of the major things that they're facing is the housing crisis that we have here. So, I mean, there are a lot of different things, and one thing, by having someone that's coming in, that this is not my career. I'm not a career politician where I'm worried about pleasing my boss and pleasing this person and that person and being in someone's back pocket and having them in mind. That is not the way it's going to work with me as the new governor.
Is abortion settled law in Ohio, or is there still an ability to kind of restrict that, do you think?
One thing that the people of Ohio, when I'm speaking to them, they're very frustrated, because when they speak out and they say, this is what we want, this is not what we want, that they want a governor that's going to listen to them. As things come back up and as people are not satisfied with the way things are going, we will put them to vote, and we will have the people let us know where their concerns are and what they feel, because it's in our Constitution right now, and Ohioans have spoke very strongly and said that abortion is something that they want. But in a couple years, that may change. So as the new governor coming in, I will always, always put the wants and needs of Ohioans ahead of what my wants and needs.
Is there a lane for you? Is there, how do you fight that battle of somebody who's not as well known, getting your message out?
One thing that I have noticed, if you've noticed, there hasn't been a lot of media coverage on me. Within the last 3 or 4 days, the media coverage has started pouring in as far as Heather Hill for governor. Within that small amount of time, and I'm referring to the Columbus Dispatch's poll that they did, within a small amount of time, within 3 or 4 days, I went from having 0% to up to 12, 15%, putting me in second place under Vivek and Yost in third place, almost 5 points below me. So that says a lot. That says a lot right there. They're open to me, and they're gravitating towards me because I am honest, and I'm trustworthy, and I'm somebody that literally lives the way that they live and understands what they're going through and understands what it is to fight and serve and work hard every day for everyday Americans like you and me.
How do you feel about the apparent thirst by many politicians for that Trump endorsement? Is that something that you feel like you need to get, or is that something you care about, or is that something that you think is the game changer that other politicians think it is?
I would have, of course, loved to have an endorsement from Trump, but that did not happen. I don't think that that's a game changer. I really don't. I think that when you have someone who's running for governor that literally comes out and says that Ohioans are stupid, and that's pretty much what he did. I think that, you give someone enough rope, they'll hang themselves, and I think that's what's going to happen with Vivek.
And there's a long way from now until November of 26, right?
Yes, and let me tell you something, I'm a fighter. I'm a little country girl from Appalachia, Ohio, and I've been fighting my entire life. And I am going to fight hard every day for Ohioans. I'm not a billionaire who's coming in with billionaire ideas and is worried about making sure that I keep my billionaire status. I'm not a career politician who's coming in here making sure that I basically play musical chairs to keep a position every 4 years. I am someone literally that's coming in here to bridge the gaps, build trust, and make Ohio the best that it can be. And that is my only motive.